Yay, it worked. Okay, we're live. Hello, and welcome back to Book Chats with Mostly Books. I'm Jody.
And I'm Melissa.
Today we are talking about Serpent Dove by Shelby Mahurin. This is the first, I think, in a trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I'm excited to chat.
Yes, it was a good one.
Yeah. Good. And Melissa's going to tell us a synopsis, and we'll start there.
Okay, so we meet Louise, who goes by Lou. She's a witch. She's kind of living on her own. We know something's happened in her past, but we don't really know what. She seems like she's on the run from someone or something. She's not really practicing magic, so she stays hidden. And then her and her friend Coco, who's also a witch, they're kind of like thieves. So they come up with this plan to steal this like magical ring. And then they get caught. There's this the witch hunters, the chassers. Are we going with that? Or chassers?
I'm going to go with chassers.
Okay.
We're not really sure.
We're not too good with the French words. And so they're the witch hunters, sworn by the church to help defeat the witches. And so Lou and Coco are kind of on the run. Mm-hmm. And then this incident happens where Reed, the captain of the chassers' reputation could be damaged. So the Archbishop says, okay, you guys have to marry. So they do. But they don't know Lou's a witch. So that kind of throws a wrinkle in, what could happen?
What could possibly go wrong with this plan?
Exactly. Yeah. A witch and a witch hunter married together.
Destined.
So,
yeah. Yeah, perfect. I don't think we can say much more than that until later.
Yeah.
So you liked it?
I did. I really enjoyed it. It's been a while since I've read a YA fantasy. So this was a good one to sort of just get back into it. Okay. It seems like it should be, it's 500 pages, but it goes by really fast. Mm-hmm. So I just enjoyed all the action and the plot twists and everything that happened.
Excellent. I agree. It read really, really fast. Mm-hmm. Like you pick it up and all of a sudden you're like, I'm like 100 and some pages into this book.
It's hard to stop and find a good stopping point
mm-hmm.
where there's not like a cliffhanger at the end of a chapter. So
yeah, she did really good of keeping you going. Mm-hmm. And it's told in two perspectives as well. It's told from Lou's perspective, and then it's also told from Reed's perspective. Mm-hmm. And so initially you would think, oh, maybe I won't like one. So it'll be slower. Oh no, I enjoyed both.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, you really got to know each one through their chapters.
Yeah, and they're such polar opposites.
Yes.
More than even just the witch hunter part.
Yeah.
They're just very different people.
Yeah.
So maybe we start with writing, or do you want to start with characters?
Oh, it's up to you. It doesn't matter.
We kind of already touched on writing. So is there more than you would like to say?
No, I just think she just really kept it moving. It wasn't a slow read at all. And I just loved the characters. Mm-hmm. And just, I didn't think I would laugh as much also reading the book. Yep. But it was really, especially Lou, she just cracked me up all the time. So that was a little surprising too.
I will say this is probably not it's not. There's no probably. It is not a clean YA read.
No.
This is going to be for your older teens or adults reading YA. There's a lot of cussing.
Yes.
There's some very spicy scenes.
Yes.
So be aware of that. However, if that's your thing, this was a great read.
Yes.
Like you said, Lou is such a feisty character. They're very vibrant. It's hard to find fault with any of the writing. The pacing was excellent. Mm-hmm. So I feel like maybe we should just go into characters. Sure. It's kind of where we are.
Yep.
Okay, so what else about Lou did you love?
She was just sassy and spunky, and she wasn't afraid to swear around the Archbishop or Reed, and she even tried to drown the Archbishop at one point, which was just who would do such a thing?
Well, to be fair, I feel like he tried to drown her.
Yeah, it was a little bit of both. He was trying to baptize her, so there was that. But yeah, she just was, but she also had a heart to her, and she kept, because she's running from someone or something, she keeps a lot close to her vest. She doesn't let a lot of people in, and so I liked just seeing how that developed throughout the book as well.
Yeah, she's very guarded. Obviously, her and Coco are tight. And she lets a few others in, but it takes a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you definitely have to really earn the trust. Mm-hmm. And that was a struggle for Reed, I think.
Yeah.
I agree with everything else you said about her. I thought she's very spunky, and I love that she always speaks her mind in a very patriarchal society that really wants, like, to keep women inferior. And I liked that she's very, like, nope, that's not how it's going to be. I will wear these pants if I want to wear these pants.
Yes.
You will not put me into a dress.
Yes.
And I also liked that when she did get married to Reed, she didn't change who she was.
No.
Like, she was very blunt.
Yeah.
And he had to get used to that.
Yeah. Like, kind of threw him off.
Yeah. So Reed was interesting. Like, I don't know if I want to say a typical male of this world, but he felt kind of like a typical male of this fantasy world.
Yeah.
And that he thought very little of the women, except that I guess that's not true. That's being unfair to Reed. He actually was fairly fair to Lou always. And he didn't think of her as property.
Yeah.
Even though everyone told him to. So I'm going to take that back.
Yeah.
Reed was actually pretty good.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that he was abandoned as a baby and grew up in the church. So that's the world he grew up in, and that's, you know, he looked up to the Archbishop as sort of his father, and so whatever Archbishop was saying, you know, he was like, well, that must be true. And so he kind of just grew up in that world where, you know, women were treated that way.
Yeah, I really feel like that gave him an unfair review. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I actually ended up really liking Reed in the end. Not that I didn't like him in the beginning. I think it was just his world was very stifling compared to Lou's, which it's going to be because it's the church.
Yeah.
The church is not a very open church.
Yeah.
It was also interesting. They're both orphans.
Yeah.
Well, so we think.
Yeah.
So that was also very interesting that they kind of bond over, but kind of don't.
Yeah.
They kind of understand that lost parental figures.
Yeah.
So that's good. Okay, do you want to talk about...
We can talk about him now, I guess. I mean, Coco's also a witch.
Oh, I apologize. I'm hearing the sound is not working. 1 second. Okay, I'm going to reboot and restart. We'll see if that fixes it. Okay, my apologies. Somebody said the sound wasn't working, so I rebooted, and hopefully now the sound is working. I'm just going to assume it is. Fingers crossed. Okay, so we've talked about characters. We've talked about writing. Did you want to talk about the Archbishop any more than he's just a horrible person? But then kind of has some redeeming things.
Yeah, I think that's all we need to say for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spoilers from here?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Unless there's any last thoughts you have before we ruin the book for everyone.
Yeah, I don't think much can be said without spoiling it now.
Okay. Spoilers from here. Okay. Do you want to start with the scene that causes Reed to have to marry Lou?
Oh, in the theater?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that Lou intended for this to happen, but it worked out in some ways to her favor because she's not dead.
Yeah.
So Lou is getting chased, and she runs into a theater and kind of runs into the backspace and is clearly distraught. So an actress sees her and then sees Reed chasing her and then kind of jumps to a conclusion where Reed has, because at this point Lou's also pretty battered from an ensuing fight that was not totally with Reed. So at this point the actress assumes Reed has attacked her, and so she starts screaming and yelling and drawing everyone's attention as Lou goes out on stage and everyone sees Reed fall on her.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was planned, but it worked out.
Yeah.
And of course then the Archbishop was like, oh my gosh, your name has been tarnished.
Yeah.
You're assaulting this girl. He wasn't. So he's like, the only remedy is to get married. That's the only thing that we can do.
Because then it would seem totally normal that you were
controlling your woman.
Like,
I don't know. Yeah,
like it
really?
would be within your rights as a husband to do that. So,
so we'll just fix that and say he was disciplining.
Yeah.
Yeah. How would you feel, I guess, in that moment, being Reed or Lou? Like,
I don't know. I mean, I think, like you said, it was kind of turned out okay for Lou because being married to a Chaucer would offer her protection from, you know, her coven trying to find her and the other witches trying to get to her. So, I mean, that's sort of why she accepts getting married, because she can kind of hide and be protected.
Hide in plain sight.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I probably would have done the same thing in her shoes.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't know what her alternative was.
Yeah.
And then even Reed, I don't know what his alternative was, although he was concerned that if he got married, he'd no longer get to be a chasser.
Yeah.
However that's said.
Yeah. But then also, if he didn't get married, it wouldn't look good either.
Yeah.
So
he probably would have been like, not that they probably have like dishonorable discharge, but at some extent that would be the case.
Yeah. Like they'd have to, I guess, remove him.
Yeah.
It wouldn't look
good on the church.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely was a life-changing moment for them. And thrusted us into this very complicated... I mean, I guess the war was always there, but she was definitely trying to stay out of this war between the church and the witches. And was trying to be very out of sight.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk more about that, or do you want to talk about her secret?
Well, you can talk more about the world, yeah.
Okay. So then basically she goes into the tower with him. I guess it was a tower. Was that kind of where they live?
Yeah, that's what they called it, yeah.
Which is really crappy. And she told her friend Coco to leave because they were all caught doing the heist for the ring.
Yeah, and they were on the search for the witch.
Yes.
It was Lou and Coco, but they thought it was just Coco at this point.
Yeah. What did you think of Lou kind of throwing Coco under the bus? It was kind of funny, but she also tried to save Coco, but she was definitely like, oh, it's not me you're looking for.
Yeah. I don't. That's not me.
It's this other girl. I don't remember her name.
Yeah. They're like, how do you know she's a witch? Oh, we're friends.
Right? She just gave him just enough, basically, to never find Coco.
Yeah.
But I really liked... that Coco didn't abandon her, even though she was told to. Go run to your coven, which is a separate coven than where Lou is from. But she... Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. Anyway, so they're in two separate covens. We learned pretty early on, right, that Lou was in this... It's basically a white coven.
Yeah, the white ladies or something.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're they get their magic from the land. So their whole thing is nature. Was it the balance of nature? I forget.
Yeah, it's very much that kind of a rule of three theory of witchcraft, which I liked that they had this in here. Where whatever magic you do comes back onto you. So you, if you want to erase someone's memory in this world, then you also have to give up a memory.
Yeah.
And if you want to pick a lock, you might have to have a finger broken.
Yeah.
So I kind of get why she doesn't want to practice that much.
Yeah.
It's very challenging.
Yeah. And then Coco is a red witch, I guess they call her, the blood witch. So hers comes from within, and it's a little more unpredictable, and that's the kind of magic they're a little more scared of.
There's always one kind, right? So I really appreciated that Coco didn't abandon her, even though she was told to run to her coven. Instead, she impersonates this rich lady and comes to the church to help with the
the infirmary. The sick patients.
Which were sick because the witches, we don't, I guess, know if it's the white witches, but I feel like we're led to believe it's that coven. Is basically waging war against the church, and in such situations there are casualties of war, and these poor people that get in the crossfires tend to have weird magical ailments afterwards.
And it sounds like the church is experimenting on them too afterwards. They're trying to develop some kind of poison or something to defeat them. It seems like they're injecting them with stuff that makes them I don't know, with black blood. I don't know. It's just kind of...
That one was so icky.
Yeah. Yeah, that was...
Look at the guy. Yeah. And then you feel for him because, A, well, they didn't want to have this magic on them anyway. And then, B, where you're supposed to be taking them to get help, you're just really experimenting on them.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
Till they're dead, basically.
Yeah. So Coco becomes someone else there to sort of keep an eye on on Lou, and so they can help practice their magic together.
Right? Because at this point, it feels like Lou kind of has to.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like she can't stay in the shadows any longer.
Yeah, she knows something's going to happen at some point, and she's got to be ready.
Because they're coming.
Yeah.
Whoever is coming is coming.
Yep.
Did you figure out who was coming for her pretty early on?
I don't think I did.
Okay.
I'm not very good at that, though. Anyway, like all the twists in here I didn't see coming. I'm not good at predicting those.
There were a few that I was like, what?
Yeah.
I did see this one.
Well, they kept saying her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's coming, or she's trying to stay away from her. And so I was like, well, it's probably some kind of witch, but I didn't get that it was going to be her mother.
Right. So I think I got it kind of quickly. It was her, and then whenever they talked about the Madame the Sorcerer, sorry,
like the
someday we'll learn
like
French.
The Witch Queen or something.
Yeah, was coming for her. I was like, and we never hear about her mother, and anytime she references her mother, she never has good things to say. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's clearly going to be her mother. I will say I didn't know her mother was hoping to sacrifice her.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's just terrible.
Yeah, like her mom just wants to get revenge on the king from this, I don't know, 100-year war or whatever, how long it's been going on. And her mom figures out that to get rid of the king and all his heirs, she has to sacrifice Lou. And she has to sacrifice, like, her lineage. So her lineage has to die with his, so that means Lou has to die.
And she was already supposed to at one. I don't remember how old she was.
I think it was on her 16th birthday.
Okay, I thought 16.
Yeah. It was like when they enter, they get their rights as witches or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so she was supposed to get sacrificed on that day. So her entire upbringing to 16 was, well, you're going to be sacrificed at 16. Yeah. You're going to end this war. Isn't this great? You're going to really bring us along. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to be dead.
Yeah. Like,
super
it's
great.
Good for you, not for me.
Yeah. I mean, so she's actually on the altar getting ready
to have her slit her throat. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she actually has a
scar.
A wound.
Yeah, she covers up. Yeah.
And then she bolts.
Yeah.
Rightfully so.
And so she's on the run.
Because
they're trying to find her to finish what they started.
Yeah, because Mom still wants to do this. I can't even imagine how mentally that would affect you growing up. Like, basically told, like, yes, your life is... Like, it's both, your life is very valuable and, like, your life is very worthless all at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just very weird. I don't even know how she got through that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Which maybe is why she has some baggage.
Yeah, she's some issues with that,
yeah. Okay, so where should we go from here? Do you want to keep going into, like, reuniting with Mom, or you want to do something before that?
Well, you want to talk about, like, Reed and Lou's marriage and how that progresses?
We should definitely do that. We should really talk about Ansel.
Yeah.
Which I think he was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, I really liked him. He was fun. He's a Chasser initiate, so he's not really a Chasser yet, because we've learned that there's only 100 of them. They have these special swords that kill witches, and there's only 100 of them, so they have a limited number of people. So that you have to fight to get in, or someone has to retire, and then you fight to get in. So he's charged with being Lou's bodyguard, essentially, watching over her, because Reed can't trust her to be alone, because she, like, the first morning she escaped to, like, I don't know, go get clothes or something, and so he didn't know where she went, and it's not safe for her. And so Lou and Ansel, I don't know, I liked their friendship. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. She kind of was like, hey, let's go explore. And like, let's go see what's up here. I know there's magic up here in the infirmary. Like, let's explore.
And in this forbidden part of the tower that I'm not allowed to go into. Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. I also liked that he was willing to think outside of the church's doctrines. Yes. And I appreciated that with him. And I think because of him, I think it made it easier for Reed to kind of start coming around. Because he was there when they burned another witch. And Lou saw this and basically took her pain. And basically burnt herself alive. Yeah. As well. And Ansel saw all that. And instead of being like, I suddenly smell magic in this room of two, he just kind of ignored that.
Yeah, I mean, he knew who she was, that she was a witch, but he didn't go off and tell people, and so Lou was like, oh, I'm still alive. He didn't tell anybody.
Right. Woohoo. That was nice.
Yeah. And then, he really helped Reed, when Reed discovers that Lou's a witch. I mean, it takes a long time. And they'd, had said, I love you. And they had, the relationship become stronger. Mm-hmm. And Lou was really struggling with, she knew she needed to tell him. And every time she was about to, something would happen. Mm-hmm. And then, when Reed found out that she was a witch, he was like, you're not my wife. Yeah. You need to leave. And then when she leaves, she gets, her mom comes and finds her.
Right.
And then Ansel's like, okay, we have to get her, because if not, she's gonna die. Mm-hmm. And you wouldn't be able to live with yourself if that happened.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Reed really reacted the exact way she thought he would.
Yeah.
And it was really unfortunate because they'd come a long way at this stage
already.
And their Christmas gifts were really great, even though they got kind of attacked.
Yeah.
So I felt like
he gifted her someone's bloody knife.
But there you go. Yeah. And then we had that big setback, which we kind of all knew was coming.
Yeah.
And thank goodness Ansel was there to be like, nope, gotta get her.
Yeah.
So they kind of rallied the troops. The weird thing with this, and it wasn't totally weird, but it was kind of weird how Beau, the prince, kind of joined the group.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like all of a sudden we had him. And I mean, I know it was sort of talked about and hinted at that Coco was seeing him.
Yeah, like at the ball. And
they had their big fight, her and Coco.
Yeah, Lou and Coco, yeah.
And then it was like all of a sudden he's just in the group.
Yeah. Well, his life was on the line, though, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was important he was there. And he was also very entertaining later on.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at this, stage, Mom has her. Everyone's going to go find her. We should also talk about Madame
LaBelle.
LaBelle.
Yeah.
Because she joins, too.
Yeah, she's, she has, I guess, what you would call a brothel.
Yeah, I think a brothel is
kind of sets
wording.
up at the beginning. Yeah,
with a secret magical underground business.
Yeah, and so she's the one at the beginning who, tricks that Tremblay guy into telling her he has this magical ring, and so that's how Lou and Coco go off to find this ring, and she kept warning Lou, like, she's coming. Like, she's in the city. You need to watch out. She's coming. Be prepared. And, no, I just totally lost what I was going to say.
Oh, that's all right, Evan. I mean, at this point, you're pretty sure she's a witch.
Yeah.
Because she's like, how else does she know she's coming if she's not? So we're like, there's obviously something more. And then, I don't remember exactly how she comes to... Maybe Lou realized it beforehand when she sees... Oh, she does realize it before Reed.
Yeah.
When she sees Madame LaBelle and Reed kind of standing together. And
they look alike.
They look alike.
Yeah, and I think it was when, right after Reed had given Lou the ring.
Oh, right.
That he had been found with as a baby, so he assumes it was his mother's ring. And so she stares at it and is like, oh, okay.
That's familiar.
Yeah. And then she's like, does he know all about you and the whole truth? And yeah.
No, but she definitely comes out with it at like a terrible time as well. Like, I'm not sure that was the moment to tell him when they need to go off and find Lou and save her, but maybe it distracted him enough.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm your mom.
Yeah. And then, he wasn't real receptive to it.
No.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, he finds out not only is that his mom, but the king is his father.
Did you see? I didn't see that one.
No, I didn't see that one. No.
Although I should have. But I kind of thought for a while it was going to be the Archbishop was his dad.
Yeah. Well, I hope not.
Oh, no. We know not now. But I was really like, oh, wow, okay, I was really in this direction, and it's not that.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, she has, because they question why she's there, and it's because she also has a stake in it, because if the king and his heirs die, that means Reed would die as well.
Mm-hmm. It was fortunate that she came as well. I thought she was very valuable.
Yeah, well, because she's the only one who knew how to get to the chateau.
Mm-hmm.
The hidden chateau that, like, only those witches can see and get to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's, like, a veil up around it.
It's like you have to go over a bridge, and it's there. And so she kind of had to lead them there. And,
to this big celebration.
And use some magic to, like, disguise them and... so they can get in with the other witches.
And the cat. Who was the cat? that was like following him along in the woods.
Oh, I don't know if they ever said who the cat was.
Oh.
I always thought it had to be somebody, but I don't think they ever said who the cat was.
I think that cat is definitely someone.
Yeah.
I was thinking we were... Oh, okay, well, I really feel like
not that I know of.
cat is going to come back around in book 2.
Yeah.
So needless to say, we get to the chateau, and they go in. I mean, I love that she disguises them. Also, Madame Labelle's, like, big talent is that she can, like, alter your appearances, I guess.
Like some kind of...
She makes the prince really hideous.
Yeah. Like he's got, like, warts and stuff, and they approach this group of witches because they need, like, to get in with them so the witches can bring escorts to this celebration. And and like none of them want him, and he's like,
even though he's quite charming, they're just like, yeah, I'm gonna go with Reed.
Yeah. And then Reed's like, well, if he doesn't come, none of us come.
So they get in, and at this point they've separated them. So it's just Ansel, Reed, and is Coco still with them at this point? No, the 3 boys go together.
Yeah,
right?
She went off because she can get in
herself.
Yeah.
As does Madame Labelle.
Yeah.
And so they're supposed to, like, kind of, like, Madame Labelle's going to do a distraction. And then she's like, you'll know it. Don't worry. You'll get it.
Yeah.
So they go through all this terrible, like, flirting when they don't want to be flirting. Because they're just trying to find Lou. Yeah. However, I really find the prince delightful in all of these scenes. Especially when he starts singing.
Yeah. The dirty bar song that Lou likes to sing.
The dirty bar song. To irritate Reed. However, Mom still's on a mission. I mean, I feel like this is one of our baddest of bad moms that we have discussed in book chats. Mm-hmm. I was trying to think back if there was... City of Brass's mom got pretty bad, too. I would probably rival it with her. Because she's just pretty evil.
Yeah. She's, like, drugging her and, I don't know, making her, like, be, like, floating in the air. Like, it was kind of just...
It was... Wasn't she kind of, like, in a weird... Like, floating weirdly, too.
Yeah, like she was, like, laying down or something. I don't know. I just... Yeah, that's how I picture her.
Me too.
Yeah, I was like, ugh.
And she does succeed in slitting her throat again.
Yeah.
You're like, really? But it doesn't work out. Like, they must... Because Madame Labelle, is that when she does her distraction? No.
Well, I thought her distraction was the fact that they came out and said, oh, we found her, and the mom was like, oh, this is your gift.
That's right. So
I'm gonna kill her as your gift.
Thanks, Mom. The Archbishop came in. That's who it was. Because he was also still tracking them with Reed's ex-best friend. I think it's safe to say ex-best friend.
Yeah, he's not a good guy.
He was not a good guy.
He's very mean.
And he was so jealous of Reed, too. I don't even actually know how that friendship ever worked because he was already so envious and towards Reed.
Yeah.
Anyway, not good dude. But they come in. And then we get the big discovery what the Archbishop is, like, in terms of children.
Oh, we knew that earlier, though.
I guess that's true, but I guess Lou didn't. And she does until, like, waking up, I guess, later.
Oh, well,
Did she know before that?
Yeah, she knew when they had the,
Okay.
That one, the performance troupe came to the church.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, and
that's right.
They were reenacting, like, when the Archbishop got, pretty much seduced by this woman who ended up being a witch. Mm-hmm. And then she ended up having his child, and then we find out it's Lou's mother. Mm-hmm. So he has to be Lou's father.
Yep. Archbishop is Lou's dad. Yeah. I didn't see that one coming. And I forgot about the performing witches that did that.
Yeah, because then they were, like, attacking. That was when the whole, like, attack scene at the church happened.
Totally spaced that somehow. Yeah. And I thought that was a good spot, too. Like, well, good's not right the word, but it was an intense spot.
Yeah.
And I guess, Lou's mom, I had really probably set all this up into motion because she knew she needed a child, right? To end the lineage of. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's even horrible, too.
Yeah, because she was like, oh, this is a gift from the goddess because the goddess wants the king and them gone.
She's just not a good mom.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe the greater good outweighs it in her world, but I just don't know how you could do that to your child.
Yeah, well, she never loved her.
No, because she knew she was for death. Like, that was her only reason.
Yeah.
I don't know how you have that mentality.
Yeah. Yeah, so her mom slits her throat.
Uh-huh.
And because they need her blood to, I don't know, I guess they do a spell or something? I don't know
if that was really clear, but they were definitely collecting it.
Yeah.
to do something.
Yeah, and then Reed discovers his magic.
Okay, all along were you saying this boy has magic, this boy has magic?
Yeah.
Because I certainly was.
Yeah. I was like, well, when we found out that his mom was a witch, and there was like a little thing about when Lou was telling Reed about, like, because Reed was confused about how witches only had female, like, daughters. And she said, well, no, they have sons, but they're just sent away. And so he was sent away, but, excuse me, but there was never been a known, like, male witch.
I know. The instant she was having that conversation with him, being like, well, only the female inherit the magic, the men don't. And I was like, this feels like a lot of foreshadowing.
Yeah. Then when we knew, like, Madame LaBelle was his mom,
and
she was a witch, I'm like, well, he's gonna have to have magic here.
I am so excited, but we waited, like, 400 plus pages to see his magic.
Yeah. And he didn't even, like, he kind of just did it, like, without, like, he realized he saw, like, they see these golden threads that connects with something, because it's, like, the whole nature needs balance aspect of it. So, like, in order to save Lou, someone else has to die. And so he sees the thread go from Lou to the Archbishop, and without really thinking about it, he just stabs the Archbishop. And I don't think he, like, understood what he was doing happening in that moment. No, he just knew, okay, this is what has to be done.
Yeah, it was very instinctual.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we never really talk about his magic again.
Yeah.
Like, really at all. I think it's just basically like, so Reed healed you and saved you.
Yeah.
And
well, and the mom his mom was impressed, like, about it.
Yeah.
That he did it. And
I just thought we were going to have more of a conversation.
Yeah. Well, that's what the next book is for, I think.
Or maybe I was waiting for Reed's reaction. Maybe that's it. Because I didn't really feel like he ever, like, really discussed or processed this newfound power.
Yeah, no. I think he was still on the adrenaline.
Yeah.
Everything that happened, and he hadn't processed it yet.
And I was like, okay, we're going to definitely have this baggage to work through in book 2.
Yeah. You have to, discover what all that means and how to control it. And Yeah.
And just, like, how do I rectify my life with being a witch hunter to now being a witch?
Yeah.
What does that make me?
Yeah.
So, and it was also 400 pages in, just over 400 pages in before Reed finally cussed.
Oh,
Lou kept trying to bait him along to doing it, and he never would, but finally, I don't remember the scene exactly. I don't know if it was when his mom told him who she was, if it was that or somewhere later with Lou, I don't know, but I was like...
Yeah, it was something, because it was right when Lou woke up. Yeah. After they, like, escaped out of the chateau and they're hiding out in the forest again. And I think, it was like, that was kind of like the first thing she said when she woke up. Like, my husband said a swear word or something like that.
First swear word.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she kind of cusses like a sailor.
Yeah. It's going to wear off at some point.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so definitely big end. Mom's still alive too, right? Why am I not remembering that? Is the sorcerer?
Who? Lou's mom?
Mm-hmm. Or did...
I think so.
I think so too. I think they they grabbed Lou and ran out of the chateau
because the Chasters all came
barging in.
Yeah, barging in to, like, kill all the witches because they weren't gonna like, and also the group with Reed and Coco and Ansel, they were trying to get there before the Chasters because Madame LaBelle was like, well, we should go with them because strength in numbers and all that, but then Reed's like, well, Jean-Luc is not going to save Lou. Like, he's gonna kill her, even though even if she is the Archbishop's daughter, like,
and my wife.
Yeah, like, she's gonna be dead, so we can't trust them. Essentially,
I feel like that was a very smart move.
Yeah,
I'm kind of nervous to see how Jean-Luc turns out in the second book.
Yeah, because it's like now, the witches are gonna be after them. And the Chasters are going to be after them. Even, like, Madame LaBelle's like, the king's going to be after you because he's going to want to just kill Lou before they can spill her blood again in order so they still are living. So they're on the run from everybody, basically.
Yeah. I know it's going to be an intense last 2 books, I think.
Yeah.
And I feel like without the Archbishop kind of keeping Jean-Luc in line, I'm kind of concerned that he's going to go off the rails. Like, he's kind of a power-hungry dude. And he before had somebody keeping that in check, and now we don't.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
He's probably going to be like the captain or lead of them. And,
or become a cardinal or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I don't either, but it's not good.
Yeah.
And then I kind of wonder how the prince is going to factor in, because now he's kind of like a friend. Is he going to want to kill Lou like his dad does? Is he going to want to help Coco?
Yeah, because it sounds like Mel and Belle is like, the two of us should go see the king and sort of stop him from doing anything crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it sounds like Reed and Lou and Coco are going to go to Coco's coven, so they'll be protected.
Which is sort of iffy, too.
Yeah, and she's like, my aunt is witch so-and-so, and Reed said the S word, so I was like, he must know who she is.
Yeah.
But I don't know who she is, so...
And there's some animosity between the two covens.
Yeah,
so
they're worried, are they really going to protect Lou?
Yeah, because Coco's like, no, my aunt really said she would do this for me, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, how good is her word?
Yeah.
Was it a blood oath?
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting next book, needless to say.
Yes.
And final book.
Yeah.
Which I think comes out in July. Thank goodness.
Yep. Comes out too.
Yeah. So this is, to me, very reminiscent of, like, a fantasy version of, like, the Spanish Inquisitions and all that time period. I don't know if you felt like it was kind of like France 1600.
Yeah.
But I totally, like, all the views of women, the views of witches, all of that felt very much like that time period.
Yeah, I kind of remember, like, the Salem witch trials.
Yeah.
And, that kind of era, yeah.
Only there really are witches.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And being burned at the stake and everything, yeah.
Yeah. That was really upsetting when that happened in that scene. Only because I think she took it on herself.
Yeah.
And I loved when Ansel was like, well, she's already survived burning. What else can you do to this witch? Kind of thing. And I was like, well, that's also like foreshadowing that she's not going to die.
Yeah.
At least not in this book.
Yeah.
On top of, we also have 2 more books to go.
Yeah.
But when he said that, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You're right. She did. She's already succeeded at that. Any last thoughts?
I don't think so. I'm excited to read the second book.
Me too.
Yeah. I want to see what happens with them.
Yeah, it was an exciting read. Get you from the first page. If you need something like for a summer reading, this would be...
I mean, it did take me a couple chapters.
Oh, really?
I kind of had to, like, get into the world and figure out the different characters and who was, you know, against who. And once I got into it, I was like, okay, I'm into it now. At the beginning, I was like, I don't understand why they're trying to go get this ring, and what does this all mean?
Well, and it feels like the ring was such a small part of the story, but when you're introduced to it, it feels like a very
and it did. It was helpful. It did protect her.
Yeah, because it made her invisible from other magic. Was that right? Or did it make her
I don't,
totally...
I don't know what it meant when she just wore it. I think it was just protection. But I think if she, like, put it in her mouth, she was invisible, which is how she escaped in the beginning with it. So, yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I can get that. Because, again, it felt like a big part of the book, but it really wasn't.
Yeah.
Like,
when it set up, like, why there was the war with... because it was Angelica's ring, and the story of Angelica.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
Angelica and Saint Constantine, I think.
Constantine, yeah.
Who they fell in love, and I think she wasn't maybe gonna practice magic around him or something, and then she eventually told him who she was, and then he was trying to, like, take her magic, and then killing the witches and trying to take their land, and then she killed herself. Or no, he killed himself first, and then she killed herself and, like, made the ring.
Yeah.
And then we find out the sword that the Chasters is actually made from magic, which is kind of funny. Then they use it against witches.
Of course, isn't that how it always is? Though, like, they use the magic they want.
Yeah.
But it's like, only I can have this magic, so I'm gonna get rid of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a good backstory. So it was necessary. I agree completely.
Yeah.
I just, initially when I read that part, I thought it was going to be a bigger part of the story.
Yeah, I liked, they kind of explained it a bit in the beginning, but I liked when Madame LaBelle was kind of telling them the story, because you got more about it, and so I was like, okay, now this all makes sense to me.
Yeah, it was very needed, too, I thought. Yeah. No, I felt like I got right into it, the first chapter and everything, and the instant she bumped into Reed, I was like, oh, there he is.
Yeah. I was like, well, who's this guy with the ring, and why are they trying to steal it from him?
Yep. So, yeah, I think we really recommend this one.
Yes, I do.
So go read this. All right, next week we will not be recording because it's Father's Day weekend, so we will not be here. We will return the last weekend of June at 5 again, and it'll be Jen and I, and we're going to be discussing Casey McQuiston's new One Last Stop, which looks super cute. I'm really excited.
Very good. I listened to it already. It's a good one.
I am really excited. I loved Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Yep.
So I hope it holds up. Okay, good.
It does,
that makes me feel better. So check us out on the last Sunday at 5 and hear all of our thoughts on her new book. All right. Bye.
Bye.